Hi guys, it's Charlotte from That Girl Cooks Healthy. What's up, what's up? Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious chicken roti using my gluten-free roti recipe. I cannot wait to share this recipe with you guys. It's delicious and really easy, so let's get to it. So these are the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need some chicken, and I highly recommend that you use boneless and skinless chicken thighs. You can use chicken breast if you want the chicken to be leaner, but I find that chicken thighs are a lot juicier when you're cooking them, so that's the reason why I recommend that. But you can use any type of boneless chicken that you want to use. You're going to need some hot water. That's really important that you have the water hot. Some Caribbean sweet potato, some roti. I'm using my gluten-free roti, so for anybody who is not gluten-free who may be following this recipe, you're more than welcome to use regular roti. I also have some curry powder, some onion, scallion, garlic and ginger, some all-purpose seasoning, some onion and garlic granules, some pink salt, black pepper, some thyme. I also have some green seasoning as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to season the chicken. So I'm going to start by adding the dry ingredients. So that's going to be the curry powder, the all-purpose seasoning, the onion and garlic granules, black pepper, pink salt and thyme. And then I'm going to follow up with the other ingredients. So that's going to be the green seasoning, the onions, scallion, garlic and ginger. And then I'm just going to use my hands to mix all of it in, so all of the chicken is completely coated with all of the ingredients that I've mentioned. So now that I've seasoned the chicken, I'm just going to get some plastic wrap and I'm going to cover the bowl, and you can leave it to infuse for either several hours or preferably overnight in the refrigerator. So the next thing I need to do now is to start the process of cooking the chicken. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some olive oil to a large frying pan, and then I'm going to add some curry powder, and I'm going to cook the curry for about a minute. So we tend to call it burn the curry. So you're not really burning the curry. It's just a phrase that people like to use and how they describe it. So what you're doing really is just cooking the curry for about a minute. And this is just like the starter step that we tend to do when we're cooking a curry recipe. So I'm going to do that for about a minute, and then I'm going to add the chicken. So now that we've cooked the curry powder, next thing we need to do now is to add the chicken. So I'm just going to add the chicken to my frying pan, and I'm just going to pretty much brown the chicken. It's going to take quite some time for the chicken to brown, so you need to be really patient and keep stirring and allowing the chicken to brown. Also, you're going to notice as well that the chicken is going to give off its own juices, especially if you're using boneless and skinless chicken thighs like I am. It's going to take a few minutes to get to that point. So when you get to that point, what you want to do then is you want to cook off that liquid, because that's going to help to seal in the flavor, believe it or not. And I always say this when I do meat dishes, that you want to get to the point where you cook the meat and then you want to increase the heat, supervised, not to the point that you don't want to burn the meat. You just want to cook off that excess, and that's going to really lock in the flavor. So this is the point that I was telling you guys about. As you can see now, there's quite a bit of liquid in the pan, and we want to cook off as much of that as possible. We don't want to cook all of it off, but we want to season quite a bit. So you just want to increase the heat to high just to cook most of it off. And once you've cooked most of it off, then you want to return the heat to a medium again and just continue with the cooking process. So as you can see that most of the liquid has cooked off. There's only a small amount left, and this is pretty much what it should look like before we move in on to adding our sweet potato. So now I'm going to add my sweet potato to the frying pan, followed by my hot water. It's really important to use hot water and not cold water, because this is going to keep the chicken breast quite succulent and tender, and it's not going to make it hard or change the texture, should I say, of the chicken. So that's why I always recommend to use hot water. So you're just going to pour the hot water in, and then once you're going to do that, you're going to bring the pan to a rolling boil and put the lid on and reduce it, and we're going to just allow everything to simmer for about, say, 30 minutes. So this is what the chicken looks like after about 30 minutes. So I'm going to remove the lid and show you guys what the chicken looks like. There shouldn't be a lot of the liquid left. You have just a nice amount of liquid, and the liquid that we do have left is quite thick. And you want to do a taste test as well to make sure that you have enough seasoning as well, and adjust if you need to. That's something that I always recommend, because it's pretty much subjective. Some people might want to add black pepper, pink salt, whatever else. So do a taste test before moving on to actually doing the filling and the roti wrap. So I have my gluten-free roti resting on a plate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a few tablespoons of the chicken mixture onto the center of the roti. You also want to add a small amount of gravy. Don't add too much, or it's going to most likely leak through or make the roti too soft. You just want to add a healthy balance of the chicken and the potato, and also a small amount of the gravy as well. And once you do that, we're just going to fold it over and turn it into a small, like a little pouch. So I do that by folding both sides. I invert both sides, and the side nearest to yourself, you want to put that upwards, and then you want to fold it over, and then I transfer it to some foil, and then that secures the whole wrap. You can start off, if you want to, by placing it under some foil. That might make it easier when you're wrapping it to support it, and then you can roll with the foil if you want to do it that way as well. It is a little bit fiddly, and when you're making the actual roti wrap, I do recommend that you make sure that the wrap is quite soft, because it can harden a little bit when you make the gluten-free roti. So you want to make sure that it's completely greased up, so it's going to be much pliable and easy to work with. And you can see there what I'm doing. I'm just transferring the roti into the foil and rolling it up, and that's pretty much how you would do that. And that's going to secure it, and you can take it with you if you want, or you can just pretty much eat it at home like that if you want to. So I'm going to show you one more time how you do the wrapping process. If you're struggling with it, do not worry, because you can simply serve the chicken on a plate and then have the roti on the side, and you can just mop up the sauce and the meat, or not the sauce, should I say, the gravy with the meat as you go along, and you can do it that way instead. So do not worry if you're not able to wrap it. As I said, it does take some time, especially with the gluten-free roti. Not easy to maneuver, so try and make it as soft as you can, and just follow me in this video, and we should hopefully get it right the first or second time. And that's pretty much how you make your chicken roti. Really nice and simple and delicious recipe. Thank you for watching this video, and please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you on the other side.